Hello everyone and welcome back to SaiyanSquabbles. I am yours truly, Papa Ping Pong, here to bring you a deck profile. So quick disclaimer, this is not my mic, so the audio might be a little, I guess, unprofessional. That's just because I'm on a very short time limit, so I gotta get this done, and setting all that up is going to take an extra 10 minutes, so... Anyways, let's get right into it. Today we are looking at possibly my favorite deck of set 9, honestly, with how much fun I'm having with it. Maybe one of my current favorite decks. Don't tell Zamasu, I guess. But the leader we are looking at today is the Reboot Hit leader. So, Hit. When this card attacks a leader card, draw one card and he gets plus 5k for the duration of the turn. That is super good. You're always swinging stronger than your opponent. You're going to be a threat even if they're awakened, so that's really good against Surge leaders too. And anything that self-awakens really early, really fast. And just to draw one on top of that is just a nice plus. And when you're at 4 less life, you draw one and restand one. And look at that art, that's such nice art. But Assassin Hit returns, auto. When this card attacks, draw one card, and this card gets plus 5k for the duration of the turn, so that's the same. But then you choose up to one skills battle card in your drop area with an energy cost of 2 or less and play it. That is really, really good. You're basically putting another beater on board, and there's a bunch of free plays we're going to be making with this deck that set up for basically win conditions. So, and just to keep in mind, this is a mono red deck with the exception of one card, but this can play other skills battle cards, so if you want to run a multicolor of some kind. But then its active main, /battle, once per turn, you can choose one card in your hand to place it in your drop area, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with double strike, critical, or blocker, and KO it. Funny enough, I've playtested this deck against a bunch of different decks. I have not used that effect once. But this deck is the deck with the most draw power I think I've ever played, ever. So you're always going to be able to use that ability. I have not versed hand control yet with this, at least like Cell or anything. But I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to get this off most of the time if you need to. And it's active main or battle, so you can use it on your turn and your opponent's turn if you really want to. And on top of that, you can drop a skillless and then play it. Anyways, that's the leader. Super good. So let's get the boring stuff over with. We got 4 Krillin super combos, just 4 less life, 10k. The leader is not U6. I originally put the Botama Magetas, but it was an oversight. So it's just a generic, when you're at 4 less life, 10k, draw one. So our negates, we just run 4 after image. When you negate, if your leader's red, he gets plus 40k for the duration of the turn, or duration of the battle, and something gets minus 10k for the duration of the turn. And if you're sparking 5, you can take a life instead of using the counter skill. Then our searcher, we got 4 Kaba Universe Mediator. When you play him, you search top 3 cards of your deck for U6, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Not everything in this deck is a U6, even some stuff that should be U6, because some of the stuff we're running is from set 1 before they came out with that keyword, but he's still really good. You should be hitting a target most of the time. I have whiffed occasionally, but again, this deck draws so much, it's almost not even a setback. So skills package, we got 4 Hit. This is 2-drop 15k from set 1, not a Universe 6, but he is going to be part of a fuel for a win con. Next up for our skill list, we got my favorite skills in the game, Botamo and Magetta, just 2-drop 20k, and this does have the Universe 6 tag. Then our last thing of skill list, we got 4 1-drop Cauliflas. There is a reason we are running this, which I'm sure some of you probably already know, but if not, we'll get to that. So, Self-Awakeners, if you're not running Self-Awakeners this format, I don't know what you're doing. Self-Awakeners are critical this format. But we got 2 SaiyanSquabbles. Again, he does not have the Universe 6 tag, but you take a life, or when he attacks, you take a life and he gets double strike for the turn. Pretty self-explanatory. Another Self-Awakener, we got 2 Digging Deep Vegetas. When you attack, you can choose up to 2 cards from your life out into your hand. If you took 1 or more life, you could restand him with plus 5k. So he's basically a dual attack 15, 20, or dual attack for 20k. So, next up for the more U6 stuff, we run 3 Dauntless Kale. If you have a Caulifla in your battle area, you can play this card for free. Or leader area, but obviously we don't have a leader, and choose a blocker. So with Hit, you attack, you play the 1-drop Khalifa for free, then you can play this card out for free. So many free plays with this deck, it's kind of ridiculous. Then our next Kale target, we have 2 sister attack Kales. If there's another U6 on in your battle area when this card attacks, she gets 5k and you draw 1. You're not going to be playing this super often, but this has come in handy before just to add some extra pressure. I was running it at 3, but then I switched it out for something we'll get to later. Next up, we got 4 Saiyan Onslaught Kefla. This card is really, really good this format. So she's Deflect, which is already huge this format because there's so much counterplay stuff. No Cold Bloodlust, no Royal Condemnation, which is super helpful against U7 because this does have a lot of pressure. The only issue is no barrier, but she's got dual attack, and when you play this card with Union, Patara, or attacks, draw 1 card, and this card gets plus 5k for the duration of the turn. And she's a Union Patara for 3, so turn 3, if you have a 1-drop Khalifa out, you can play the 2-drop blocker for free, and then turn 3 Fuse. She comes out 30k, you draw 1, and she swings 2 times, once for 35 and the second time for 40, and you draw 2 more cards. So she's like a draw 3, or if you're on the Awakened side, you can swing, get the Khalifa out, play the Kale, then Fuse. I have had 3 on board before, but be careful because I almost decked out that game. So next up, more hit stuff. We got 2 hit Spacetime Transcended. Active main for 3 energy. You choose 1 red hit card in your drop area or warp with an energy cost of 6 and evolve it into this card. And you can't play red hit cards with energy cost of 6 for the duration of the turn. So this guy is basically for, if we do use this effect to KO something, we're going to be pitching a 6-drop hit, and you can evolve into him out of the drop area. And we'll get into that hit. So this hit is a win condition. This is Lightning Fast Hit. Oh, excuse me. Lightning Fast Hit. He's evolved for 5, and he's Double Strike. And when a card evolves into this card, inflict 2 damage to your opponent. That is really insane right now because there's not a lot of skill negation right now. Even against Surge Cell, if this is played in rest mode, you're still dealing 2 damage. And let's just say that doesn't finish your opponent, he's still a 25 Double Strike. But also, with the skillless hit we have, if you attack, play the skillless hit from the drop area, that's free, you tap 5, evolve into it, deal 2 damage. I have won a few games that way, which is crazy. I never thought I'd be seeing this guy again, you know? Next up, we got 1 Fearless Pan. This is just as an alternate win condition. Again, we have a ton of win conditions for this deck. But blocker barrier, when you play this card, choose all other red battle cards and leader cards, it gets plus 5k and double strike for the duration of the turn. And you do swarm a lot with this deck, so that's pretty threatening. I've only played her once or twice, but both times it got me the game. So moving on, we got 2 Denial of Hopes. Not a lot of these running around. I don't know why. This is still a really good card. Really good against the Invoker Frieza. And I've used it a few times because a lot of the stuff, like I've said several times, you're going to be playing with this deck for free, so you're going to have a lot of extra energy left open. So this is really nice. Then next we got 2 Familial Bonds. This is mostly to play Pan out, or if you need the Kale from your drop area, or a Khalifa, or something like that. And you maybe want to play another Kefla or something, or off of them rather, not off of this. But if your leader card is red, choose it to 1 red Saiyan in your drop area with energy cost of 3 or less and 15k power less and play it. And we don't run Dragon Balls, so I'm going to skip that. We run 1 Hidden Power East Supreme Kai. When you combo with him, you choose something to get double strike. I'm going to switch this out for Champa just for thematic purposes, but realistically this is a better card. So next up, our second to last card, another win condition. Mira, Creator Absorbed. Everyone knows what Mira does. Overwhelm 4 for 1, Deflect, and, you know, he attacks. He gets plus 5k for every card in your warp. And then last, but most certainly not least, the latest addition to the deck, because I forgot it existed, Frieza, Army Reborn, another win condition. Quadruple Strike, permanent. When your life is at 2 or less, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 3, so it becomes a 5 cost. And when you play this card, your opponent reveals their hand, chooses 1 card from their hand, place it in their drop area, then choose all of your opponent's battle cards with 40k or less power, ignoring barrier, and KO them. Still not the best secret rare, and he's still vulnerable to Royal Condemnation even without the reduction. But he's a nice alternative if you do get to 2 life, because there will be games where decks are so defensive right now. There will be games where I'm swinging with SaiyanSquabbles just to take the extra life to deal double strike. And I can set myself up to 2 life and still have 5 energy live and just tap the 5 energy going to him. But yeah. So that's gonna... Oh, my dog scared me. That's gonna be it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, this is probably one of my favorite decks to play right now. To be honest, I love this deck and I love this leader. I never thought we'd see a red hit deck. What the heck are you doing, dog? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hope you guys enjoy the new setup too. Forgot to mention that. See ya!